And good evening. That was a blast from the past, wasn't it? Right, so I've got loads of people with me tonight for this epic stream. I don't know, it shouldn't be too long. I'm really nervous because I've had this idea in my head that Mark and Ian pushed me into, and I had to follow it through because it's to do with electronics. So what can go wrong? Well, we'll soon find out. Let me go through all of my people with me today, which I'm really appreciative of with this little project. So I'm going to go in order. So the first one who's coming up is DS Models and Vintage.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, and if it wasn't a Routemaster, I wouldn't be here, would I? So no, I'm looking forward to this immensely because if this project works out, Horlicks, this is going to be absolutely fantastic. It's going to bring that bus even more to life. And I'm pretty sure between us and yourself, especially yourself, I'm pretty sure we can do something with it. So, yeah, looking forward to it immensely.
Lovely. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, I am. I'm really looking forward to it, but I am really nervous. I've had butterflies all day because just pre-warning, this may not work. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident it will. I've done my research. I've
Yeah.
done, and I'll go through that in a moment, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Next, I have I'm glad he's here as well, the fabulous Geordie Dave, because he's not working.
Evening, everybody. Well, I've been working.
Yeah, but not night, because I know you're doing a lot of nights now, aren't you?
No, my nights will be Sunday night. So, but thanks for having us on again, Horlicks. I think you'll crack it, no problem. So, as I always say it in all my videos. So let's crack on.
Right. And then we have Mark's Mods, and there we go.
And I'm back. Well, sure, I've just seen you somewhere else, Horlicks.
Yeah, we've been.
Yeah, so good evening. Welcome to Horlicks' live stream of this Routemaster bus, and taking it yet to another level.
Yeah, it's your fault. You and Ian were going, oh, yeah, you got till Friday. Right, it wasn't Friday. It took me longer.
And I'm sorry, I missed the old Routemaster intro. I love it.
Well, there'll be probably another one. If it works, there'll be another couple of shows. So, yeah, it probably won't be the last of that. We've reincarnated it. Right, and then last of all, I've got another guest, which is really good. And
hello, everybody. Now I can relax after my stream. That was a good intro.
Amazing. And those of you that, most of you here hopefully have seen it, but Dano was just live doing his enterprise, and what a great job. There's so many wires to manage, and it's a minefield of cables. And do you know what? I think Mark's right. We'd be going all night if that was me, because I wouldn't want to run out of place.
Yeah.
So it's probably just as well I'm not doing it, because no one would be doing anything if they were supporting me. So, right, we've got loads of chat to get through, and then I'll start explaining what I'm going to do, and then we'll have a go at trying to get it to work, I guess.
Okay then, I'll start the chat off then. GS channel, good evening. All hope everyone is okay, and good luck with your show, Horlicks.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Hi, Jay. Ian Campbell, hi all. Really looking forward to this. Hi, Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Hey, Ian. Thank you very much.
Dee Harris, evening, Alex again.
Yep. Hi, Dee.
And Marvel Picks, never been to this channel before. Hello.
Hi,
Marvel Picks.
Thank you for joining. And it was me obviously reading the instructions for Dano just now. And thanks for popping in. It's a bit of Arduino fun tonight. I'm not an expert, but I know a bit. We're just gonna have a little play with Arduino.
Yeah, well, now you'll see who were all in the chat, the moderators.
Yeah.
Then we'll have Yorkshire Crafter. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Julie.
Ian Campbell, welcome, Todd. Ian Campbell, hi, D, Julie, and Jay. D. Harris, Jay's channel, and Ian Campbell, good evening, gents. Ian Campbell, all right, Alex. D. Harris, evening, Yorkshire Crafter. D. Harris, Marvel Picks, evening again. Marvel Picks, feels like I never left. LOL. Yorkshire Crafter, evening, Ian Campbell, D. Harris, Marvel Picks, Todd, and Jay's channel. Dave Macmills, good evening again to all in the chat. Yorkshire Crafter, evening, Dave Macmills. Ian Campbell, hi again, Dave Macmills. Flavor, that's all the highs again.
Yeah.
Dave Mac, evening, Yorkshire Crafter. Richard Copplestone, looking forward to this, and hello to all.
Hi, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
Hi, Richard. Welcome to my show.
Dave Macbills, hi, Ian Campbell. Ian Campbell, hi, Richard. Dave Mac, hi, Richard. Crafty Chris, good luck. Hello to everyone in the chat.
Hi, Chris.
Hello, Alan.
And I've just jumped up massively.
Yeah, the chat is going absolutely mad. I think this is the most I've had. Amazing.
It's not clicking now. Well, that's Ian Campbell. Hi, Chris.
Oh, I'll do that for you if you want. There you go.
Right, what's happened here?
That's it. Crafty
No.
Chris.
Go
Hi,
on to that one.
I've got another stuck one. Crafty Chris, hi, Ian.
yeah.
Yorkshire Crafter, hi, Crafty Chris. Dave Mac, hi, Crafty Chris. D. Harris, evening again, Dave Macbills. Dave Macbills, evening again, D. Harris. D. Harris, love this intro.
Thank you. Yeah, it brings back memories, that does.
Mm.
Alex Jameson, hi all.
Hello, mate.
Hey,
All right.
Hi, Alex.
He's my work colleague.
Warren James, hi all again.
Hi, Warren.
Hi, Warren.
Hi, Warren.
I'm getting a jump again. D. Harris, Warren James, evening. Warren, evening to D. Harris. Crafty Chris, hello, Yorkshire Crafter, and Dave Mac. D. Harris, good evening, Sir Dave, Geordie Dave, and Mark.
Hi,
Hi,
Dave.
Dave.
Dave Mac, good evening, Sir Dave, Sir Horlixs, Geordie Dave, and Mark. Nice to see you all four again.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave, man.
Hi, Dave, Matt.
Hey, Dave.
Ian Carver, haha, Horlixs, you're the man.
I'm really nervous because I've got all these people here, and I don't know if it's going to work yet.
You'll be right.
Dave Mac, hello again, Dano. I'm getting stuck here.
So next one's that one.
Hi, hello.
Hey,
So
Dave.
it's, D. Harris, nope, stuck again. Evening, Dano.
Even Dave.
Yeah. And that's it. Alex blames someone else.
Yeah.
How much more of this is it? Dave Mac, the Five Musketeers.
Yeah.
D. Harris, Dave Macbills, the famous five. Dave Macbills, fingers crossed it works for your Horlicks.
Yeah, I hope so.
Dave Macbills, Too True D. And we'll have Roger Thompson. Evening all. I don't get online much, but nice to see you all.
Hi, Roger.
Hi, Roger.
Hi, Roger. Thank
And
you.
I think I've hit the last one. Crafty Chris, hi D.
That's
Awesome.
the last one in there, yeah.
Wow. Thank you
I'll
so
start
much
that.
for all the love and the highs and everything to start the stream off. That's really great. Well, I guess I better start explaining what I'm planning to do. So those of you who have been watching, me, Mark and Jack were doing the Arduino show for Basic, and we hit our last show week before last, and it was quite apt because we were going to stop the week before, but we saw the remote control module, and I said, no, let's do that one because that could be great for a project to do with models, or because it was going a bit off subject. So we did it, and then Mark came up with the idea, oh, you can make your Routemaster remote control. And I'm like, I was doubting myself. I said, I doubt it because of how it works. I'm not that knowledgeable on Arduino. And then Ian said, oh, there you go, the gauntlet's been made. So for Friday, that was too short notice, 2 days. But it got to the weekend, and I was like, you know what? That would be really cool to do. So I did a lot of research. I didn't think it was going to happen because Arduino, as great it is, you can do pretty much anything with it. Controlling this bus, it's actually down here at the moment, is completely different. You can't inject voltage into it because it already has its own circuit board in the model. So Arduino works by telling it when to push voltage in or out of a pin. We really want a short, not voltage, because if we put more voltage in, it's going to blow the board up. So it took a lot of Googling and stuff, and I've come across a few things and put it together, and this is what I'm going to show you tonight. So let's hope it works. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do. So I suppose first I better go camera down and show you the bits that we'll be using tonight. Then I'll show you, I've already done some pre-preparations before the show yesterday, just to save some time tonight, because it would have been a really long show otherwise. So obviously tonight we're going to be needing an Arduino. So this is just my test one, and this is what I've left it as from the last show we did. And we were using the IR with a remote control. This is where it started. Program this in. I took it further because this was using a serial print monitor to show what buttons you were pushing. I took it a step further and installed 3 LEDs, which I was able to turn on with 1, 2, 3 and off with 4, 5, 6. That works. So we're going to be needing all that. I ordered myself some more jumper wires and things because I didn't have enough. So I got plenty of them. And these are the other components I bought, which actually came today, thankfully, because to do the show tonight, I needed this here. This is an IC microchip. So this is going to be the brains behind it all. Without this, it wouldn't be possible. So I'm led to believe. I've also bought myself a little blank circuit board because the plan is to make this permanent. So I'm going to be doing some soldering. Not tonight. This is just going to be a test with jumper wires to see if it does what it needs to do. That's the idea. But when if it works, I'll be trying to make it permanent on a circuit board and soldering the components to this.
Yeah.
I've got these, which are sockets for the chip. Now, you don't need this. It just helps. So I can solder this straight in, but it's quite nice to have this because then when I put it on a circuit board and solder it in, I can then remove the chip. Yeah, because it's just a push fit then, rather than soldering it in. So I've got them adapters just to do them. Probably just thought it was a good idea in case I needed to use it for another project. Yeah, I bought another circuit board, blank one, just to play with. I think this might be too big, but you know, I've just got a couple of sizes so I can gauge what size I'm going to need. To be honest, I think this is too small and I think this is too big. I might be able to cut this down. I don't know. We'll see. What else have I got? An Arduino Nano, which will power all of this if it works. At the moment, today, I'm just going to use my big one because it's on a test. But eventually, the final one is this small. Okay, so that'll be holding the codes. Again, that'll fit nicely on a circuit board. So I'm trying to work out what's the best size. But I need this plus this chip to be on it. It might just fit on here if I can work it. Because I need that and that, but I've got to solder some other wires on and things. So we'll see how it goes. Probably wouldn't work on there actually because this is like a breadboard. So you've got your channels and then but we'll see. That's later on. So that's the Arduino, and then of course this was a cheaper one. I don't think it's official. So I had to buy a cable for it, which is the correct size for this. So it does mean I'm going to have an extra cable running out the base of the bus if this works. But again, we can work that out later.
Yeah.
That's everything I'm using. So all I need for tonight, all of this can go away apart from the chip and everything else. So let me try and explain what we're going to be doing. This is my schematic I wrote out. Probably be, I'm not going to go too in depth. But basically how this circuit board works on the Routemaster is that it's waiting for a short between the two pins on the plug for the buttons and the things on and off. So you've got the lights, the bells. You push the switch, it makes a short, which activates the circuit board. So using this directly is not going to work because this wants to push voltage out.
Yeah.
So you've got your digital outputs, inputs. Your output's going to put out 5 volt, and it will probably damage the circuit board.
Yeah.
So to get around that, I'm going to be using this chip. Now what this is a MC14066 BCP. Okay, and what this chip does is it basically works like a momentary switch. So you give it 5 volts in ground, and then you've got a trigger wire here, the trigger pin. So what happens is Arduino will inject 5 volts into this pin. When that gets 5 volts, it will then short these pins here for button 1 and 2, button 1. So when that gets voltage, it's going to make a short between these two legs of the chip.
Yeah.
Down here, trigger 2. So again, when this sees voltage, it's going to short these two pins out on the chip. This is trigger 3. So when this sees 5 volts, it's going to make these two legs of the pin short. So this here, I've crossed them out, but I can't remember which. I'm going to have to look back at the schematic, but this is a 4th switch. So one of these would be the input for 4, and then an output, and then a short between 2 pins. So in theory, for my bus, which I'll explain in a minute, I've only got 3 buttons because I just did the lights. So I've got the interior lights, the destination blinds, and the driver's cab.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is I could include the bell on the remote, but we'll see what happens. And that's basically how it works. I mean, I'm not an expert in chips. I mean, I've got no idea. I just know this is the right chip and that's the function it's going to do. So that's what I want to achieve. So let's just see what happens. Obviously, before I hook any of this up to my bus, we'll be using a multimeter. I'm going to wire it up and then put this into continuity mode. When you touch the pins, we'll have a short.
Yeah.
If when I push the remote and the code works and I get a short between those two pins, when I've pushed the button, I know it's probably going to work.
Yeah.
So that moves on to the base and what the preparations I've done. So, as some of you may be aware, some may not, my last project on this was this plug on the base, and I did a previous video on this.
Yeah.
And the aim of that was so I didn't have to get my hands into the bus to turn the lights on and off. I added these switches on the front to control the bus. 1, 2, 3. This was brilliant. Like, I'd come in, flip the switch on, because I've got Ian's fantastic power mod for this. Again, you can grab one over at powerupgrades.com. If you use code PRM002, you'll get 15% off as well. It's a bonus. And he does so much on there. So go and check out powerupgrades.com.
Yeah.
That being said, I've got the power mod, and I thought it'd be really nice to have the functionality of the bus from the front here, so I don't have to keep pulling the bus off the shelf and trying to get my finger in to push various buttons. They are still working. The way I've wired this, they work as well as these. All I've done is I've added another hole, and that will be where the IR sensor will fit behind. And go.
Yeah.
And then you've got, this is all the wiring I did in the previous show. So all I've done for tonight is I've actually intercepted them yet again for Arduino. So what's going to happen is if the bus was on here, plug it all in. If I touch these two pins, it would turn the lights on and off. That's how it works. These are momentary switches. You push them in, makes a short, turns on the light. This is going to be the same thing. So I've just cut the wires, put these blocks in, and we've got, I've got labeled them up, button 1, button 2, and button 3, which relates to the 3 buttons on the front. So that is what I've done with the base. Now, I appreciate that not everyone would have done any of this on their base, if anyone yet. In that case, this would still work, and I'll show you quickly what you would need. The bus switches in the bus on the circuit board use these little micro JST connectors. So what you would do is you would have a male end. Sorry about the light. Oh, it's this base. It doesn't like the base, does it?
No.
We had this before.
Yeah.
It's got these little micro JST connectors. These actually go into the circuit board. So you would unplug the relevant switch for the switch for the lights. Plug this in its place. You would then plug. This is just taped up. This isn't the final version. This is just what I've done just to give you an example. Because I don't need this. So that will go in your circuit board. In there would be the original switch from the bus. So you've still got functionality of the bus as well as this mod for the remote. And then this would come out the bottom of the bus. And then this would then connect to the Arduino for your remote functions. I hope that makes sense. We can probably cover that in more detail next time, but we've got to get built-in electronics. So just going to grab the Arduino over and a pair of tweezers. One thing I didn't prep was, I've lost my tweezers. One thing I didn't actually prep was the this board, because we had all this in from last time and we don't need any of this in here.
Do you want us to go through the chat while you're doing that?
Yeah.
D. Harris, evening crafty Chris. Yorkshire Crafter, well done, Jody Dave. Dave Mack, evening at Roger Thompson. Ian Campbell, haha, Yorkshire Crafter, yeah, and brief. Roger Thompson, evening Dave Mack. Marble Pits, are you using that IC as basically as a relay?
I guess so, yeah. Basically, yeah, because you give power to a relay and it makes a connection. When it loses power, yeah. So basically, yeah, that is what I'm using it for. I mean, they're quite inexpensive. You know, it wasn't a lot of money, a couple of quid. So, I mean, I'll probably get it even cheaper if I get it from somewhere like AliExpress or somewhere. But it's all I could find about it because I don't want to push voltage into the bus. So,
Then we'll have D. Harris. Good evening, Roger Thompson. Roger Thompson, hi D. Ian Campbell. Thanks, Alex. Just get on with the show.
someone's excited.
Right, I've got another jam. Marvel Picks. Right, I think you could do without the IC. You could do it without.
Really? I mean, as I say, I'm not an expert Arduino. I know the basics, and I just sort of muggle my way through. This is the solution. I did ask a question on the actual Arduino CC website, and they're like experts on there, aren't they? And I put a simple question like, "How do I make this remote control make a short?" And they were baffling me with MOSFETs and something else, and I'm like, that is way too much. And at that point, I gave up. I said, no, I can't do this. I'm not experienced enough. And then I did some more research, and that's when I found out about this. So this is the way I'm going.
D. Harris, Ian Campbell, promotion is a good thing. Is it? Is not? LOL. Ian Campbell, it is. Don't get me wrong. D. Harris, I think as long as you're in business, I think you will get a mention in some form from these gents.
Certainly.
Oh, yes.
Certainly.
Yeah. Ian Campbell, it's good, D. Yes, just want to watch the show.
The reason I put
that's what chat up to now.
The reason I put this idea in Alex's head originally was to take his mind off his Spitfire. Because it was making him unwell. So this is why I put this little seed in his brain about doing it for his Routemaster. And it worked.
Yeah, I'm buzzing about this. I hope it works. So I've got this little mini breadboard. I thought we could house the chip on.
Is that baby breadboard?
Yeah, it's a baby one.
Baby breadboard.
Never misses a chance.
No.
Okay. So this is the chip. Moving on swiftly. Now I know that the dot up here is that's classed as pin 1. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to move my focus back. The camera is really doing my head in. This autofocus is just not good. It wasn't on autofocus. That's why.
Ah, right.
There we go.
That's good. Yeah.
You using the remote control, would that cut out those switches that you've got on the board, or would you be still able to use those with the remote control?
Yes. So the way I've wired the base up, I've intercepted the wires that are already there, so I can still use this. I can still use Arduino if it works.
Yeah.
I can still use the buttons inside the bus because of the way I've wired it. So I can use all three at any time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's crack on. I'm using Geordie saying now. It's just a common phrase, isn't it?
It is.
Get on with it. Right, I've got I think that dot there indicates pin 1. I don't know about tip, to be honest, but I know the 5-volt pin is the top right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
So, red wire, and that's going to go in plus 5 volt. Going to need a black wire because I know that the ground is the opposite leg of the chip. So we're going to put that in minus. I'll go through the code quickly in a moment as well so you can see. Right. Now I know I need to get my schematic that I did so I know what I'm doing because I had to do all this before. So pin 3 of the Arduino. Oh, wrong plug. I need some more connectors. There we go. Pin 3 and 4 I've used, so I'm going to plug them in. 3 is yellow. And that is trigger 1, so it's going to go underneath second pin down on the chip. I don't need to show you the pin layout, but I'm just sort of explaining as I go. And then pin 4 is the orange cable, and that's going to go into trigger 2, which is 1, 2, 3 up on this side, which will be that pin. Have I lost you yet?
No.
No.
And then I'm going to use brown, which is digital pin 5 on Arduino. So there's quite a lot of wiring involved, so I need to try and get this neatly on a circuit board. I might even look at PCBWay and see if I can get a printed one. Depends how serious I want to get with this. That is going to be the next one up after the ground. So that's our connections made from Arduino to the chip.
Yeah.
Next, we need to look at putting on the... We're basically going to connect the bus now, but I'm not going to do that because obviously I want to make sure it's all working okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab 2 more cables so I can test for that. So button 1 is these top 2 pegs on this chip. And that'll do for the moment. Let's just test this one at a time. Nervous. That's the wiring done. So I'm just going to put that up there. And then let's have a look at the screen. And we'll look at my code. So I've already coded this. Heart-shaped remote control version 1. Well, Heart-shaped classic Routemaster, I have remote control by Horlixs version 1. So I've basically used the code that we've got in the lesson for the remote, but I've trimmed it down, got rid of stuff that we didn't need, and yeah, gone from there. Now I did make a bit of an error because when I wrote this originally, I set all these. So basically, this is going to be the easiest bit here. This is button 1, 2, and 3. So all I had was digital write high and then delay. Now that wouldn't have worked because it would have been constantly giving that pin a short, because all the time that leg on the chip has power, it's going to be shorting those pins.
Yeah.
And it would have confused the bus, like holding the button in and where the indicators freeze.
Yeah.
So then I was quite tired when I wrote this, but then I went back through the code and realised that I had to delay it and then tell it to turn that off again, so that it would would do that.
So how long is your delay? It says 500 there.
So that's half a second.
Ah, right. That's grand, yeah.
So maybe this isn't quite right. I don't know, but we'll see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, I've verified the code, and there doesn't seem to be any errors, and it goes through. So we've got button 1, which is in pin 3, 4, and 5, as I just did, and they go into the relevant pins on the IC. And then when we push button 1, it's going to activate switch 1 button, and then 2 on the remote will add 2, and then so on. If these, sorry, I was just reading ahead in the chat. Right, so then obviously I've done the pin mode, so I want outputs because I want to send voltage to that leg of the IC to make the thing work. But I also want them to be low before we even start. So when we start up Arduino, I want them to be low. So yeah, when we turn on Arduino on, it's going to make them all low so they don't start powering up the bus or anything when we turn it on. And that's basically it. So it's pretty basic. So let's upload this and see what the results are, and then we can have a tweak. So where is it? There we go. Plug this in, and then let's upload. Done uploading. So the code is on here. I've got no smoke yet.
So do you want to move your camera? That's it.
So I've got no smoke yet. Right. So let's get the remote ready. Now it'd be better to do this with a wireless. What I think a wireless remote would be better than IR. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter. It's just this is going to be a feat if I can get this to work. So yeah, I'm more than happy with that. So I've got it in continuity mode. We're looking for a short. So if we get a short, it's going to change from 1 to numbers.
Yeah.
If it's a dead short, I mean 0 is a dead short.
Okay.
So the plan is, if I touch these probes on these 2 pins, we shouldn't have a short. So far, so good.
Yeah.
But when I push button 1 on here, we're looking for a short.
Yeah. Got it.
Oh, there was a little one there.
Yeah. Got it.
And is that about half a second?
Yep.
Got it.
Oh, amazing. I think this is going to work, guys. I think it's going to work. Let's just not run.
I was going to say, Jody Dave needs to bring up the chat because there is some bits in the chat that you might find useful.
Okay. Julian Milne, evening. Sorry I'm late. Just finished work.
Hi, Julian.
Hey, man.
DRS, good evening at Julian Milne. Ian Campbell, it was a great idea, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
D, Mark.
That might be to baby breadboard.
Yeah.
Ian Campbell, Mark, LOL. Ian Campbell, Mark, compose yourself here. Julian Milne, good evening, D. Harris. And Marvel Picks, if these are momentary voltage switches, you don't need a second delay statement for each.
What do you mean?
Just high, low. Just high, delay, low.
Oh, okay. So
then he's got, they will default to low as well in setup.
Okay, right. So you're saying high, delay, low. Forget that
It says,
I'll explain that in a moment.
It says, so you don't need those digital rights in setup?
Yeah, I'll do that afterwards. So the first bit was you don't need the second delay statement for each. So I don't need.
And he says in each case statement.
Yeah. So I don't need that. I don't need. So I don't need that. Is
You
that
don't need
correct?
the settings then.
Don't need that. And I don't need that. Is that what you're saying?
He says in each case statement, after you turn it low, you are adding a delay. That is not needed.
Okay. So we'll try that.
Then he's put yep.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then down here, so you're saying I don't need these either because they're default to low. So let's just take them out then for a moment. And then let me re-upload and let's see what the results are.
It says more delays, slower code turns,
Runs.
Okay, so
runs.
I've re-uploaded. We shouldn't have a short. Push button 1. Okay, reset the Arduino again, just to be sure. No short.
And then we need to come on camera. That's it.
I've done it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it. It's fine.
So there's no short. And then if I push button 1.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Think you and Todd really need to get talking, Horlixs.
Yeah, I think he could teach me a bit or two because I am a real beginner. Really, I've just sort of taught myself, and I'm quite. What's the word? If I want to get something done, I will get it done.
Yeah.
I watched his latest enterprise video on his channel. It is absolutely amazing. I have subscribed to him as well.
Right, awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
Is that his channel near Marvel Picks?
Yeah.
Right, I'll have to hunt him out to subscribe to him.
Right, next, I'm going to go to...
Marvel Picks has put, I was a beginner like a month ago, learned a ton though.
Cool. That's cool.
I'll put the link for his channel in our chat.
Okay. Yeah. So the next 2 pins down should be, I'm doing this one at a time, should be button 2. So let's check everything's going to work. So we shouldn't have a short. Push button 1, we still shouldn't have a short.
Yeah, that's correct.
Button 2, we should.
Yeah, you do.
Awesome. And then last of all, 3 is these bottom 2 pins down here.
We might all have notifications in a second, I pre-warn you.
That's okay.
1, no short.
Yeah.
2, no short. 3.
Yeah. Yes. Works.
Right. Wow. Okay.
Right.
I think this is going to work.
Cool.
So, what was I going to do now? Right, let me go back to my code because I just need to explain some more code. So it's all very well having button 1, button 2, and button 3 turning on individual bits. So button 1 actually does my destination blinds.
Mm-hmm.
Button 2, I didn't change that. That should be 500. Button 2 does the interior lights, and then button 3 will do my cab lights.
Yeah.
So that's all good. They work individually. 1, 2, 3. What I thought would be quite good fun. Again, I'm going to have to do some editing here. I might need some help with Todd with this one because this one was a little bit more difficult. I wanted the power button to turn everything on at once. But obviously you can't turn on button 1, 2, 3 exactly at the same time because it confuses the circuit board on the Routemaster. So I need to do one at a time in short concession. So it's going to turn on button 1, turn on button 2, turn on button 3. So that's the code I've written for that. So I've put the break at the end. So it's going to make it go high, delay, then go low. Then it's going to make button 2. So I'm guessing I don't need these delays here either.
Well, Marvel Pix has put. Come on, click. Oh, somebody's clicked up. Turn all the buttons high, then 1 delay, then all low.
Right, okay, carry on.
Nah. And then he's just said, really? Then it says, the PCB in the bus can't handle simultaneous button presses.
No, it gets confused. So if you try and do, because I tried to do that with one button to turn everything on and I couldn't do it. So if you try and push all 3 buttons at the same time, it gets confused and doesn't know what to do. Same being if you hold the button down on the bus, so the interior lights turns on the indicators. When you hold that button in, if it's got constant power, it freezes the indicators and it crashes the board. Yeah, it's obviously a model and it's cheaper electronics. So I need to turn these on in concession. So turn on button 1, release it, button 2, release it, 3, release it. So I work this out. It's going to turn on button 1, delay it because I want there to be a delayed short to give it time to boot up. Then make button 1 low again, so it doesn't then confuse button 2, and then etc. etc. Does that look okay to you?
I was just going to say, Jordy Dave, just read right down to the bottom.
Yeah, it says, so yeah, get rid of the delays after the lows.
So this one, and I haven't even got one under that one. So high, delay, low. High, delay, low. High, delay, low. Okay, we'll try that then. Upload. We'll update the code. It's all about hitting, trial and error, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just check we are still functioning. I'm sure we will with button 3. Yeah. So if I now push the power button, at some point that should have a short. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. At some point, if I push the power button, we should have a short, but it won't be instant because it has to run through button 1 and 2 first. So if I push power,
yes,
there was a short, but that was quite a delay, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Right, I think I'm happy to get this rigged up to the bus and let's see what happens. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it.
Right, well, I'll go and have a look at the chat where I was up to. Okay, my mouse is being funny tonight. This is Roger Thomas. I try this, never done this. Then Roger said, I like to get into this. Roger Thomas, code looks complicated. Says, I'm getting technical problems on this side. Marvel Plus for the power button, we can do something a little different. Then it's got Roger Thompson on page, on Mark's Mod's page. There's a short series on there starting Arduino. Yeah, Horlixs and Mark done it, and Mark's son done a series on it. So if you look on Horlixs and Mark's channel, you should be able to find them. We've done that. We've done these ones from Marvel Pix. Roger, thanks, D. And we've done these ones. And Ian Carbell, nice one, Todd.
Missed one, Dave. One up.
Right.
Next one up. You can shorten the delay values to make it run faster. Just depends how quickly the bus PC board can operate.
Yeah, 100%. And I was going to do that, but obviously this is the first time I've tried this, so I don't. It is a bit hit and miss, even with the buttons on the base. Sometimes you have to push them twice, so I need to find that sweet spot where it can understand it, because it's a bit hit and miss. But here's the bus. We've got all the wires hanging out the front. Now I have pre-prepared.
Who?
I do have a spare circuit board for the bus in case it all goes terribly wrong.
Yeah.
I've got a power bank to power the Arduino up. And then Ian's power mods, which I'm going to plug in because we want to get power to the bus. So we'll just check the bus is working in its current state.
Okay. Well, just remember, when the Arduino is running a delay, it cannot do anything else.
Right. Oh God, sorry about that. Right. Okay. So this is all plugged in. The buttons on the base should work as they did. Yeah. Destination blind. Interior lights.
And exterior lights.
And exterior. You can see the indicators flashing. And the cab.
Cab light.
So they all still work.
Yep.
As intended. It's a bit dark. Sorry about that.
That's okay. We can see the lights. Excuse me.
So I'm going to unplug the Arduino. I've got a power bank to power all this up. So let me just make these connections.
Okay.
So button 1 is the first 2 pins. So I've labelled these up pre-stream. So let me just turn the bus off. Button 1 is going to be in those 2 pins. Button 2 is going to go into the ones underneath.
Yeah.
As I say, this will be a permanent fixture if it works. I'm going to have to design and make or solder up a circuit board. And for me, it won't matter because I'm just going to glue it underneath the base. There's plenty of room.
Yeah.
God, that's a bit tight.
This is so cool, Alex. This is so cool.
So would that be running off a different power source than the power model?
Yeah, it's going to have to run off a USB for the micro, because when I get around to fitting the micro Arduino, it'll run off this USB. But for me, it's not going to be a problem because I've got, obviously, my shelf up there. I've got a USB thing up there, so you can just plug into that.
Yeah.
Plenty of sockets, yeah.
Right, and then that is going to be the final connection, which is going to be the bottom 2 pins. Right. Whew. We are all connected up.
Wow.
Let's introduce some power.
Oh,
that came on. Why did that come on?
Okay, there is a bit more chat, Jody, Dave, if you want to bring that up.
D. Harris, is it worth disconnecting the mains power pack? And Alan Key, the USB will run the bus as well.
We've certainly got power there, Alex, because the destination's lit up.
The problem is, it's not working now. Right, it is now. So there's a problem with the code. It's just making it come on. So what I'm going to do is I need to recode.
Okay.
Something is not right because it's making that come on straight away, which is blocking, which is bricking the board because it thinks it's constantly high.
Right. I was going to say that because this is an interactive stream, do you want to bring that last comment up, Dave?
Yeah. Since you're using running relays to the bus circuits, the power sources are isolated.
Okay.
How many volts is coming out of your power bank?
5 volt.
Doesn't Arduino work on a 9-volt battery?
I think so, but I haven't got one to hand. Right, hang on.
Then he says that is okay.
Well, let me just try this. I know Todd said it didn't matter. But let me just put these back in. Just to make sure it is giving them low signal before, just in case for some reason it's not doing it.
So he's put you are basically using the IC as a relay to short the switch pins on the bus PCB. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, let's try that. I'll just put them back in just for a minute, just for test purposes. And then let's go back to camera view and see what happens. Just to be, it's probably, as you say, it might not be the case, but I just want to make sure that it's definitely writing no voltage because it's constantly on.
And he's put, what IC model hashtag did you say this was?
MC 14066 BCP. One, two.
Destination blinds come on again.
Yeah, something is still not right. Code. Oh God, here we go. Something is wrong. It's making them high for some reason. Let's get this multimeter back out and see what's going on. Because it was working earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see if these are still high. No. No.
Is your multimeter turned on, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. We can see the screen now. No.
See, now it's not. Why is it not? Hang on.
No. You had it then? No. There.
Yeah, that did it. Two.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try something else. It does seem to be working.
I'll read these out. It says, you may need pull down resistors.
Oh, okay, right.
And then he says, I am checking the IC data sheet. And then Ian Campbell, sorry guys, I've got to go. Good luck, Alex. Thank you for a great stream, and thanks to your fellow helpers and Marvel picks. I'll catch up on demand and pick up with you soon.
Thank you, Ian. Thanks for joining.
Cheers, Ian. See you later. And Marvel picks, see you, Ian. And Crafty Chris, good night, Ian. And D Harris, take it easy, Ian. See you later.
Okay. Everything's off.
That comment might be relative, Jordan.
Sometimes the data switch does not go back down to low off once turned on, so it stays on.
That would make sense what it's doing now, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's still. As soon as I plug Arduino in.
And it says, if it goes on and does not turn back off, you need a pull down.
Okay. Hang on a minute. Let me. File. Right, let me just reload this.
And he's put from the control pin for each circuit on the IC, put a 10k resistor to ground. Bring that up so you can read it.
Oh, I see. Let me just try this. One more thing. Right, that touch, so that's fine. So let's just put button 2. Right, okay, so I'm gonna have to do, yeah, it's making a connection. It's not quite got the same result as I was hoping.
It's all pictures that way. When the Arduino sends a 5V to the control pins on the IC, then turns them off, the resistor will make sure the circuit drops to 0 ground.
Okay.
And Roger Thompson, night all. I will watch rest tomorrow. I'm quite interested in all this. Great show. Take care all night.
Good night, Roger.
Good
Thanks for joining.
Try pulling the trigger wire from the Arduino to the IC out and see if it kills the light. Once it's on.
Well, I'm just going to move the chair onto here because we need to run ground resistors. It might be easier to operate. So,
And DC is night Roger Thompson.
pin 3 is yellow, which works. Let's see. Pin 3 is yellow. Let's just do 1 to start with. We don't need to complicate this.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we can get 1 button working first. So pin 3 is going into there.
Marvel Pixies, if I knew how, I could join your stream by voice.
I can send a link.
LOL.
Right, okay. Then we need to do a 10k resistor. Now, I don't know if it is 10k. We've got a resistor here. How do we read that in here? Oh, there it is, resistance. 10k. So from the control pin, so like that.
Right. The way that I think this is it here. Get up. That won't let us put it up. And that. When you auto send files to control pins on IC, it turns them off. The resistor will make sure it must be that.
Okay, so this is the control pin going to pin 3. That'll go into there, which is, and then from that, I've got the 10k resistor going into ground.
Yep.
Does that look right? I suppose the only way to test is just to plug it in.
Try it, yeah.
Right, well, I'm going to say good night because I've got to get off now, but I'll be watching downstairs.
All right, mate.
Say good night to everybody in the chat. Met some fabulous people tonight in these live streams.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, I've subscribed to Marvel Fixer channel. So yeah, guys, I'll catch you all later.
Okay, good night, Mark. Take care now.
Night.
Good night, Mark.
Night, Mark. Thank you.
No problem.
Right. So let's try this.
And DRS says, see you, Mark. And then Yorkshire Craft has put, night, everyone. Night, Yorkshire Crafter.
Good night, Yorkshire Crafter.
Yorkshire Crafter.
Yeah, as soon as this is plugged in, it's disabling. It's disabling the bus.
Morpix, is it possible to join the stream?
I think it probably is Horlixs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is
So-
it on Facebook? If you add me on Facebook, I can send you the link. If that's all right.
And then we can join you to the stream.
Yep.
You'll get the message via Facebook Messenger.
He's in the. You've just joined the Know the Models, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Just. Oh, come on.
He needs to be on yours so you can get him on Messenger.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Right. Can I leave you a couple of seconds while I go and get a drink?
Of course you can, yeah. Yeah, of course you can. So, Marvel Pick says, who am I adding?
If you hang on, if you add mine, which is Dano Builds, on Facebook, I'm on the Know the Model Builders. Just.
Okay, and then it says, yeah, I did join the Facebook group. Yeah, I did, because I joined you, Marvel. Oh, he's added you down there.
Yeah, I've just got up.
Okay. So you know how to send the link, don't you?
Yeah. I've just sent it to you now.
Is he coming in?
Yeah.
The link will come by StreamYard, because it's a StreamYard link. And you can either come on camera or just your voice, depending on what you want to do.
I don't understand this. It should be working.
Back in a minute.
Okay, Donna. So when you come into StreamYard, Marvel Picks, then we'll add you to the stream.
Is the bus power supply? Here he comes.
Okay, you're ready to the stream, Marvel Picks. You'll be able to, if you allow your microphone, you'll be able to chat away now. I'm just going to go back to Alex's camera. Allow your microphone. So
this is kind of cool.
Yeah. Hello.
This is the first time I've ever done that.
Oh, brilliant.
Right.
So obviously you're live on the show now, and we obviously taken a swearing stance with the show. So just to let you know, but yeah, thank you for joining us, and yeah, any information you can give us is going to be absolutely fabulous to our cause.
Okay, so let's see. You got the ground, you got the trigger, the ground with the pull down. Yep. And so what's happening is when you plug it into the bus, anything the bus was doing stops?
Yeah, it just freezes the bus until I remove it back out of here.
Okay, have you tried shorting the pins directly from the bus? Not using the IC. Like, leave this on the table. If you go back to the bus, turn it on, and short those pins, does it act like the switch?
Yes.
Okay, so you've proved that part works. So it's something that the IC is doing that this doesn't like.
Yeah. Yeah, see, because if you can see at the moment the interior lights are on and the indicators flash,
Yeah.
if I hold that in, it confuses the boards and makes the bus freeze until I let go. So, and if I hold it in, it freezes. So it's basically thinking that there's a constant feed there.
So I'm curious. I wonder if those pins are normally closed or normally open, because it feels like if you go back over to that and hold those pins, go back over to your bus. If you hold those pins closed on one of the circuits, doesn't matter, pick one. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it freezes the bus.
And then that's what it's doing when it's hooked up too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it could be that this circuit is actually either holding it high, or it's closed in the normal state, is what I mean.
Right.
Right. So what's happening is when you hook it up to this, those two pins on the IC are held closed. Like, are you getting continuity between them?
No.
It's interesting.
No. And the other one was...
Have you got it on the continuity setting?
Oh, no, I haven't. Sorry. I changed it, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's high.
So it's holding it high.
Yeah.
So let's do this real quick. Can you create a brand new just create a brand new sketch in Arduino, and all we're going to do is just make that pin high. We're going to test the IC. Right? So all you need is a pin mode and a digital write high, and define the pin. You don't even need to define the pin. So if you open your Arduino editor,
yeah,
and all we're going to do is turn that pin high. That way we can see what the IC is doing, and then we'll turn that pin low and see what it's doing. Because it could be that these are backwards, and it's actually a normally closed versus normally open, and we haven't reversed. And it could be just as simple as calling a low to turn it on, calling a high to turn it off. We'll see.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? A brand new sketch?
Yeah, just create a brand new one.
Yeah.
And just in void setup, just do a pin mode, whatever the pin number is. Do you know what pin number it is?
Yeah, pin.
I think you said 4.
3.
3.
3.
Whatever that's hooked up to. Just 3, output. Yeah, in parentheses. Pin mode is it calls a function. So.
Pin mode and then
3, output. That'll make it a digit output pin.
Yeah.
Close it. Put a semicolon. There you go. Now under the void loop, just do a digital write, and we're just going to make it high. So digital write. I think you have to do a capital W.
Yeah.
There you go. Parentheses, and then just 3, high. So all we're doing here is we're just sending 5 volts out that pin, and send it.
All right, let me plug this back in.
And then we're going to do the same exact thing in the low, right? So we'll do this. We'll check the continuity of those pins. Then we'll write it to low and check the continuity of those pins. It could be they're just reversed.
Okay. You want to go back to your camera?
Yeah, let's go back.
Okay.
So that was
the digital sheets. The data sheets I saw for this, the 4066, show it normally open, but it could be the version you got is normally closed. Right. Especially if it's marked NC somewhere.
MC 14.
Oh, MC. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, there's still a short there.
Yeah. Now go back into your Arduino and change that to pin low. The digital write. Yep. Change that to low. Rewrite it. Or program it.
And back to the Arduino, yeah? Oh, you've done it.
Yep.
No short.
Yep. So it is when you write high, it's closing the circuit. When you write low, it's not closing the circuit, so it's open. So that's fine. That means it's normally open, right? You're not sending any signal to it. It's normally open. So if you go back to your original sketch,
Yeah.
what you have should work. I don't know if maybe you do need the because it should default to low, but there could be something that the Arduino spits out. It doesn't hurt to do those. You know how you did the digital writes and set them to low?
Yeah.
It very well could be that you do need to do that. It just depends, because it shouldn't be held open because they should be default to off, but we can always make sure it doesn't hurt to add them.
So this is the original code.
Yeah. So under your setup, your pin,
They're all low.
No. I mean the one we edited. You can use that one, right?
This is the original one before, and then the one that hang on, let me get the other one up.
Yeah, because we already took the delays out.
Oh, hang on, I'm getting confused with my windows here. That's this one. Right, this is the one we were working on.
Yeah.
And then I did go back in earlier just to see, but it didn't do anything. But we took the delays out. And then
so you did call them to low.
Yeah, digital write button one.
So go ahead and re-upload that to your board. And we're going to check the continuity of that pin again, those two IC pins.
Okay.
See, now they're off.
Nothing there. But we've got it on 2. But that is because I haven't sent the feed.
Well, what's interesting is that, did you notice that there's you have no driving pin, like you have no trigger pin connected, and it closed that circuit, which is, that worries me a little bit, right? That circuit should not be open until it gets 5 volts. That's a little strange. See, now it doesn't look like you are. There you go.
Yeah, I had a little one.
Could there be a fault with the circuit?
No, I have that.
Yeah.
See, the fact that that's basically showing closed, and it's not triggered, right? You're not sending it 5 volts, but those pins are showing closed. And so go ahead and hook it up. The trigger pins, because since you haven't hit any of your infrared functions, right? You don't have any. Everything should be low, right? There should be no continuity.
Yeah.
Right between your output pins.
Right. So I've added the trigger, and now there's no short.
So remember to put you're going to need a 10K on that one too to pull it down. So every one of the trigger pins should have its own 10K to ground.
Okay, let me just get another one.
And if it makes it easier, you can jump the 2 ground rails together. So you can just put the close nearby.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll put one there. And then
this is kind of fun. I'm in the US. Where is everybody? Are you guys on the K?
Yep.
In the UK, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, and then the trigger that's number 3, which is the next one down. So there we're in.
Just going to let my dog out. Won't be a minute.
Okay. Right. Then we'll have
Yeah, just connect the ground rails together.
ground and ground.
There you go.
And then pin 3 is that one.
Yep. Now, real quick, if you just push the reset button on your Arduino, when you're done here, and then check all your output pins and make sure you should have no continuity between them, right?
Nothing on that one. Nothing on that one. Nothing on that one.
Yeah, so you should be able to connect that up to your bus then, right? Because it seems like whatever was happening, it was causing the one of these buttons to be held closed, and that was freaking out your board, right? Because you tested that without this board. And
So the interesting thing is, when I unplug Arduino, they're all going to go high, aren't they?
They could.
Which is confusing the boards. So
how are you powering the Arduino? Are you powering it from the bus?
it will be on a USB, but that'll be on when I flick it on the wall. So let's see. At the moment, I'm using the power bank.
Yeah, try hooking up the Arduino and powering it first, so it sets the state of all those, and then hook it up to the bus.
So pin 1. Let's reset the bus. So far, so good. That's 1 in, and the bus is still functioning. 2. Bus is still functioning. 3. 3 is the bottom 2 pins. Bus is still functioning.
Try your remote.
Okay, here goes. 1. Oh, 2. 3.
Yes.
It bloody works.
This is the exact way I started with the Enterprise.
Right.
So,
my thing is, it's a bit slow. It's a bit slow. I need to adjust the timings. I think I need to make them to 250, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to have a gap so that basically none of the pins are pushed at the same time, right? So you might even want a very short gap between your lows. Even 50 milliseconds is probably fine, right? It seems like that board doesn't like it if 2 pins are pushed at the same time. So,
No.
and that's perfectly okay. The other thing I would think is, how are you powering the bus?
That's with a power, Ian's power mod.
Okay.
That's from the mains.
Okay, so is that power mod? How do you know how many volts it supplies?
4.5.
So you could power the Arduino from that power mod.
Yes, I could.
But what I would do is put a delay in your setup. So after you do all those digital writes and do you're turning on your IR, put a delay in there. Put a delay of like a second, right?
Whereabouts in?
Because what we want to do is because what's happening is I think when the PCB comes up, it takes a second for the Arduino to come on, and in that short period of time, all those pins are shorted, right?
Yeah.
So basically, we need to put a delay in before the Arduino comes on. It's gotta come on later.
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to think how we can do that, because I think even setup, until the setup runs, you're going to be high, right?
Yeah.
It just, we got to make sure the Arduino comes on after.
Right.
You know, and since you have it in, you know, I don't know if you're gonna, you may have to put a switch on your base to, since it works without the Arduino, right? You wired it that way, so you can still use the buttons on the base. Is have a separate switch to bring the turn the Arduino on to bring in your IR connections.
Right.
So it's, you power it on later. Now you can, there's a way you can do a power delay, but I don't think that's complicated. You can't do it in the programming, because as soon as you power that board on, it's going to power up that IC. That IC is going to close all those circuits and freeze your board.
Right.
Before the Arduino can say, hey, no, set them all to low, that the pull downs, pull them down to 0 and open all those back up. I think you're going to have to do that differently.
Okay. So just by putting in the setup here, just an initial, can I not just put delay?
No, see, that's what I was saying, because as soon as you power up that IC, because the IC has a ground and power to itself, right? It's got a VCC 5 volts in. So as soon as the Arduino gets power, that IC is going to come on. And the Arduino takes a half a second or a second to load. In that short period of time, that IC has just been powered up, and it's going to close all your contacts.
Yeah.
And that's going to freeze your PCB in the bus.
Right.
You can't do it in software, because there's a timing, you know, it takes a little bit for the Arduino to come on, pull all those low, and then it's going to open all those up. But I think by that point, your board's going to be frozen already.
Well, let's have a look and just see, for example, if this is actually going to be a problem. So I'm going to unplug this. Watch the board freeze. Yeah, bus freezes. When it starts up, it resumes. Now, actually, that was pretty quick to come back. If you watch the indicator, it freezes the bus. As soon as I plug Arduino in, straight away it comes back. So it might not be a problem. So I've got one switch on the wall which will turn everything on at the same time.
Yeah.
So if I was to take the plug out, let's just try and simulate this the best I can. Plug these in at the same time. Nothing happens. And then does the remote work? I think we might be all right.
There you go.
Awesome. So the pull-downs are quite important. Yeah, so I just need to take them back out, adjust the timings, because I think we need to make them a little bit quicker.
Trying to go back to screen. Oops.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
So,
You got it working, Dave?
Yeah. Brilliant.
250. I'm going to do a more too. Oh, I haven't tested the power button yet, so that could be an issue as well.
Yeah, I would shorten the delays, you know, down to the point where it doesn't function anymore. You know what I mean? That way it will respond more instantaneously.
Yeah, let's try. Yeah, I get what you mean. Let's try. It's just I know how temperamental this board is, so let's try 250 first and see what results we get. Right,
Since it's just a button press, I bet you can get away with even 100.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
try.
I mean, think about how fast you can push a button. Can you do it in a tenth of a second? Probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Step away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your help.
No worries. I'm on a headless Wi set. I just can't see the screen.
Yeah, okay.
So let's plug this back in.
If you saw the code for the Enterprise, it's about 1,000 lines long.
Oh my god.
And it has timing all over the place, because it has to time the nav beacons. I have to time the audio to work with the lighting. It's all over the place.
Wow.
So you finished your Enterprise?
I have finished the upper saucer and the neck. I had about a 5-month wait getting parts, and I just got 2 months worth of parts in the last week. So I can start on the lower saucer. I'm going to 3D print a holder that mounts to where the PCBs normally would go inside the saucer. That'll hold all the MOSFET, the Arduino, the speakers, the DF player, all that stuff. It'll mount it inside the saucer.
Wow.
And of course, I share everything. I'll share the LCARS mobile app. I'll share all my programming, all my code, everything. I don't care.
Wow.
Gets people started.
Thank you. Beautiful.
So I think I'm happy with the 250. That does seem to work relatively instant.
I bet you could go faster.
So one. Well, that one's a bit hit and miss. And then that's the cab light.
You gotta try your on-off switch.
Yes. So on.
Wow. Everything's on.
And then off. Oh, that doesn't want to work. It doesn't turn everything off.
Well, you only created that power button, turn things on. Oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to hit it so it does it all again. Yeah.
That one needs a longer push on the button for some reason.
Yeah, there's a trick to the IR. I had to add it to the enterprise. If you notice when you hold a button down, you see how the IR receiver is blinking really fast?
Yeah.
It's getting multiple commands at once, right? So that's called bouncing, right? So you're getting a bunch of signals. Well, the Arduino is running 16 million processes or instructions per second. So what's happening is it's actually it's running that sequence really fast. And if you added a big delay in there, it's got to wait until that's done before it can do it again.
Right. So
I added a debounce, but it involves getting into timestamps and using the millis command and everything like that. So basically, it'll only take one IR command like every half second. So if you hold it down, it won't do things multiple times.
Okay.
But like, see your power on, you're still at 250. I bet you could drop that to 100 milliseconds and it should be fine. I would add a delay of like maybe 50 milliseconds after your lows in your power button. That just makes sure that when it pulls it down before it pulls the other one up, there's a short delay so none of your buttons are on at the same time. But you can do a really small one like 50. And I would change your other delays to like 100.
Okay, so let's do a delay of 50.
Mm-hmm. And I would do that after every one of them. Yep. And then let's try it 100. Let's see what 100 does. I bet you could take the other delays down to 100.
Right, copy that.
And you can do it up in the power too. That way your power sequence will happen much faster. You can leave those. Yep, just do the 250s. There you go.
Right. Let's see what result we get now then.
Mm-hmm.
So let me reset the bus because it's on. Get this on first.
And see, your Arduino is powered, by your power bank, which is separate from the power from the bus. So they're isolated power sources. So you can, if you get a long enough USB cable, you can keep it connected to your computer and not keep going back and forth.
Yeah. One, two, and three. Okay. Put this back on. Turn the bus on. Okay. 1, 2, 3's a bit hit and miss. Yeah, it's sort of getting a bit confused, but it's working. And then power should turn everything off when it has, apart from interior. Why is it not turning the interior off?
Here,
So you got to remember, every time you push the power button, all it's going to do is change the state of the current lights. Because it doesn't know whether the lights are on or off. All it's going to do is if the lights are off, it's going to turn them on. If it's on, they're going to turn them off. So
I need to turn everything off. Power button. Should turn them all on. Power button should turn them all off. But it doesn't turn the interior off.
which button was that?
Power.
No. Which button is your interior lights?
2.
And that works on its own, right?
Yeah. So power turns everything on. Power again turns everything. Oh, it did that. So
Yeah, I bet I'm sure that's a timing thing. I'm sure you can just mess with the timings and maybe it needs a little longer to respawn. You might have to say 150.
Oh, what for the?
Yeah.
These.
Makes the button press. Basically, it just simulates the button press. It lasts a little longer.
Right. That's the only thing about this, isn't it? Trying to upload this cable so short. We'll get there. So I've got all this fun to do again, haven't I? Because I'm going to have to make a permanent circuit board for this. Right, upload.
And I know you can probably look online and just look for a 5-volt power on delay. If you want, you know what I mean? And then you basically power the Arduino on instantly and then bring the bus on maybe a second later. If you want to power it all off of the one power source.
Yeah. Okay.
They make them. They make power on timers.
Well, I've made progress and it's working, which I'd never thought I was going to be able to get working, to be honest.
Oh, don't doubt yourself.
Yeah, very, very, very clever. Very, very clever. I'm so pleased that you've been able to do it, Horlixs. Put a lot of work into there.
Yeah.
Right, so that works. That works. 3.
You're on the wrong screen still.
I am. Excitement. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there. 1, 2. Yeah, it's a little bit glitchy. 4. Power. Turns everything on. Power. It turns 2 of the lights off, but not the middle one. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, that's timing. You'll have to play with your timings.
So maybe it needs to be a bit quicker then. Maybe up to 200. I'll just keep putting them up in.
I actually don't think it's the button press. It might be the delay between the buttons. It's like if you set all those delays to 100, because I would think 1/10 of a second is enough to close it. It just depends on how fast that IC reacts. Yeah. You know what I mean? It may not be long enough for the IC to close the switch inside the IC. But I'm curious if you set all of those to 100. Even the 50s. Yep, set them all to 100. It could be that the downtime between is not enough. Yeah, you just kind of massage the timing until it works the way you want it to every time.
Even the delays.
Yep. I think 1/10 of a second is enough to trigger the PCB, but only way to find out is to test it.
Yeah. Trial and error.
They seem to be all right, I think. It's just this bit that's not quite right.
Yep. It'll just take a little longer to come on. Everything will come on individually, but that's okay.
All right, let's put that up. Upload. Let's try again. Post buttons in and out are annoying. 1. 2. Come on. 3. Yeah, let's go 50 fast because it's not on yet. Which it has. plug that in. Bus should start operating. Yeah. So let's turn everything off. Power. Power.
Straight on.
Again, it's not commanding that.
Must still be the timings.
It's button 2 that seems to be a bit of a delay. So maybe I should just focus on what button 2's doing. Because I'm having a problem with this button 2 here.
Does button 2 operate 2 circuits in the bus, like the interior lights and the exterior lights?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 2 circuits in the bus, isn't it? Rather than just 1 circuit.
You could have it hold the button down a little longer. Just change that middle delay.
This one.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe put that to 150. I really need to get this. I haven't got an extension lead for this USB cable. So.
Yes, okay. Do you want it changing cameras again?
Yep.
I think you do, don't you?
Hang on. Sorry, no, I've got to upload. And then,
all right, sorry.
That's all right. Let's upload that. Done. Back to the bus.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just going to be a case of trial and error.
But the main principle is there, isn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
So now that you put it, so you haven't done it, yeah.
Where's the remote gone? Yeah. Okay, so 1, destination lights. 2 is, yeah, the remote is really hit and miss. I think maybe a Wi-Fi remote might be better than RF or IR. Power turns everything on. That seems to turn the lights off in the middle more. On, off, and that. It's struggling with that button 2 press.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's the IR. I think it's just the timing of how it's pushing the buttons for you. Because the IR is receiving the command. I just think what it's doing for each one is it's just a timing thing.
The thing is, though, would you be just turning it on and off as quick as that? Turn it all on, do nothing for couple of seconds, then turn it off and see. Gives it our time to settle.
So it's all on.
Now that's basically the whole principle just there, isn't it? Apart from your bell sound and your engine sound. Now,
No.
Is it possible you could add them to the circuitry?
No, it turned them all off, didn't it?
Yeah,
turn them off.
Yeah,
you,
I can add the bell because we've got one more switch we can use. But obviously, because I've got the base mod and it's wired up, I haven't actually got the wires in for that.
Yeah.
So me, I probably won't bother. But
How many switches does the bus have? Like how many different functions?
It has interior lights, exterior lights, bell, engine sound, buzzer.
Another 2.
Because you could just easily wire up another one of those IC boards, those chips.
Yeah, it's got another 3 functions because you've got the bell on the back, and then you've got an engine sound and then the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just looking at one more IC chip and a bunch more, a few more pins out of the Arduino.
But basically, you've got it working now because, as I say, that delay with the on-off, you wouldn't be just standing there going, turning it on, then a couple of seconds, then turning it straight off.
So that's the power button. I've just turned it on. Give it a few seconds. Now if I...
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
That's it. You've got it.
That's cracked it, yeah.
Destination blinds is 1.
And if you want just the individual ones on, you can just turn them on.
2 for the interior, 3 for the cab.
You want to do something fun? Just like hit 1 again, right? Now hit the power switch because it's going to reverse all the lights you have, right? So it'll turn the other 2 off and turn that one on.
Apart from the middle one.
Because the Arduino doesn't know the state, right? So the Arduino has no idea if they're on or off because you're not running those lights through the Arduino.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's all it's going to do is just push all those buttons again and just reverse their states.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's say that. Oh yeah, no, it's done really random things. So that's fine. I mean, it was just a bit of fun. The power button maybe can just go. You know, I can control them individually because then I know what state they are by seeing them. So I can just use 1 for 3 to turn stuff on. But there you go. That is a remote control operating a Routemaster.
I'm gonna give you another challenge.
2. These interior lights are really hit and miss on the button 2 as well.
Try to add more delay to that. You know, you added it in power. You could go back and add a delay so button 2 holds it down a little longer.
The problem with the interior lights, though, is it's on two lots of separate circuits, isn't it? Because you've got your interior lights and your exterior lights all together, aren't you? With the flashing rear flashing lights.
Yeah. So maybe for button 2 right there in the middle, just change that delay to 150 to give button 2 a little more time to react. Maybe that'll help.
Well, let's try that, and then we will call it, I think, at that because I'm super happy that is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So you're just going to be fine tweaking.
Now you've started down a rabbit hole. Now you get to see how much else you can do.
Yeah. I was just going to say, your next challenge is make it Alexa operated.
Yeah. But I started with just an IR remote, just turning lights on and off, and I ended up with a mobile app and Bluetooth, and I went nuts.
I've got all my bulbs are on a smart thing on my phone, but obviously that's getting a bit too much, I think. At the moment, I don't think the bus could handle it because the circuit board on the bus is not the greatest. You know, it gets confused with stuff, and as we've seen.
Actually, there is a way you can make it Alexa operated. You buy a Broadlink because it works the IR remote controls on your televisions and all that.
Yeah, it does.
And it would just read the IR remote control and do exactly what that's doing.
So basically, I think the original code we did worked, but because when I was hooking it up, I didn't have the Arduino connected either.
Yeah.
So that's right. Let's try this again. 1. Yeah, destination blinds. That seems to work pretty well. I'm happy with that on and off. 2. Right, off, on, off, on. That seems to be better. That's
nice.
More responsive. No, it's not. Spoke too soon.
It bounced.
Yeah, that needs more, I think. So one last attempt. I found everything works really well on 250. The other buttons are working fine. So let's just change that middle one back to 250.
Right. Well, we've got a little bit of chat, so I'll go through that. I don't know how many people's watching. Mark Mods, hello everybody in Chatland.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hi, Mark. D. Harris, evening, Mark Mods. Welcome to Chatland. Alan Key, the relay only needs to be on momentarily. Mark Mods, evening, D. Crafty Chris, yeah, well done. Mark, well done. And Alec, 6 altogether.
Is that functions? 6 functions.
I believe that's what he meant. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you get one more 4066 wired up to 3 more pins, there you go.
Yeah, that's all 6 functions. Wow. Can't believe that.
Now all you got to do now is shrink that onto a circuit board.
And then put it in the bus somewhere.
Aye.
Yeah, and you know what? You might even try it to see if you even need those pull down pins, because now that we figured out what it was, you may not need those pull down resistors. They don't hurt anything. Usually they make the circuit respond a little faster, but you can try it without them.
Put them out.
So basically, it's a case of trial and error now, then, with different timings. And
Well, they're out. Bus is still operating at the moment. Right, button 1. In fact, it's working a lot quicker without them. Look at that.
yeah,
2.
Right.
Yeah, it needed 250 for that. 3.
Try off button now.
Oh, I think that's hit it on the nail. That one. That's quick. That's working. And 3. No, 1. Yeah, happy with that.
wow.
Your power still works okay now? Try your power out.
Oh yeah, power. Still doesn't like number 2, and then it gets confused when I try and turn it off independently. There's a massive delay on that.
Power rod. Will it go straight back on?
Turns on okay, it's just turning it off on the power button.
Yeah, I think you have a 150 for the button 2 delay in your setup still, or in your power setup, your power code.
Yeah.
You might want to make that a 250 just to.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because that's
you said the 250 works really well on the button 2, but let's match it on your power. There you go.
Right, yeah, load, and then we'll do one more test, and then I think we'll call that a night because it's getting on now.
A lot of progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Upload.
Button a tick.
Okay, Dave.
Done. Okay, done.
This is amazing watching this.
It is.
1, 2, 3. So, do you know anything about making circuit boards? Because you can get like PCB Way, and they make you one, a printed circuit board. I'm wondering like how you design one of them. Is there tools on the website? Do you know? Or
You know, I've never tried.
so I know you have to upload like a file.
Yeah, like if you build it in like Tinkercad, I think you can. If you build your circuit in Tinkercad, you can output a. I don't remember what it's called, like an SRB file or PBX file. There's some kind of file that you can send to printing companies that'll make you a board.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then there's even companies that'll put the components on for you. You know what I mean, and pre-solder them. But it starts getting expensive.
Yeah. Soldering bit I can probably do. I just think because I ordered as you probably saw, I ordered some circuit boards, and I think that one's too big, and that one's too small. So I'm going to need one sort of in the middle, really. I'll have to do some research, but okay, let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, power.
You know, you'll be going to bed, didn't you? You should play with that all night.
Power. Leave that for a minute, and then power button. All off.
Wow.
Remember, Alex, you're at work tomorrow, so you're gonna get some sleep.
No, I'll probably blow the board up. No, that's fine. Power. All on.
Wow.
It's not going to, once it's on, it's on.
That's superb, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Superb.
power. No, I still struggled with the second one, but that I'll play with. But it generally works. 1, 2, 3. I have a remote control free. I have a remote control bus.
You do.
Nice work.
Well,
Thank you
Well
so
done.
much, Todd, for your help.
You bet.
Yes. Thanks for coming on.
yeah.
I didn't
Thank you so
realise
much.
that. Yeah, I mean, I think because when I was trying to wire it up, getting all excited, I didn't have the Arduino on, I don't think. So that's, as soon as I unplug this now, it freezes the bus and makes it do weird things. So that has to be on. I'm wondering if, like, a capacitor would work, like to give it some power, residual power. No, that's not really going to do anything, is it? Because that'll drain overnight.
You know what you could do? Ooh, I have an idea. I don't know how much time you have, but can we give it another 15 minutes? I bet you we could fix this. I was just thinking.
Right.
Grab your board, bring it back over to your table. We can power that IC chip from the Arduino. We'll just give it 5 volt from a pin, and we'll tell it when to turn on.
Instead of just
So what we'll do is we'll check continuity on that IC when it's not powered, right? So is it your board's power your board back up? Your Arduino. Yep.
I need to turn some lights on. Hang on. See what I'm doing. Right.
Okay. Now pull the power feed to the IC, just so that the IC itself's not powered. There you go. Now check the continuity on those contact pins, and see if it stayed open or if it stayed closed.
It's now open. It's open. I mean, closed. So
So it's when it's not okay.
Oh, no, it's gone. No, it hasn't. It's there.
It stayed open.
So we have a short. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's when it's not powered, it stays closed, and that was the problem we ran into. That's what caused all this in the first place.
Yeah. So when I power that, it then shuts it. That's now not short.
Yeah.
Unplug that. We should have a short.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that means they're normally closed, right? And that's what causes the problem with the board and the bus.
Yeah.
When it first turns on, until the Arduino can power up and tell it to bring everything down.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a way to basically bring all of this up first before the bus gets power, right? And that's what I was talking about, like a little delay circuit or something.
Yeah.
Now you could intercept the power coming in, like if you got yourself a little MOSFET or something, just like a simple MOSFET, you could tell the Arduino when to power the bus up, right? Have it intercept the main power going through the bus, and that way when you power up the whole system off one power source, you have the Arduino control the power to the bus itself.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And then you could say, hey, wait for the Arduino to come up, give it like a half-second delay, and as part of setup, just bring up that pin that triggers the MOSFET to close the circuits on the main feed to the bus. You know what I mean? That way you tell the bus to come on a second later.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's an option too. I don't know how much voltage you can put through that IC, through the IC pins. I don't know if you'll be able to use that. You might have to use a MOSFET. It just depends on how much current the bus pulls.
Right, yeah. So I think the thing...
But you made really good progress anyway, right? It's just an idea of getting it all to work off like one power supply, that kind of thing.
Well, just before I end the show, let's do a little experiment just to finish off the show. We're going to put the bus back on the shelf. We're going to hook it all up as it would with all the power, with the power sources that I've got, and how it would operate on a day-to-day basis. And let's see what results we get.
Okay.
I think that's the best thing to do. So, can't see me at the minute, but
that's okay.
Plugging stuff in. I'm just going to plug the bus back in.
You want to get those two chats while he's setting that up?
Crafty Chris, no, Alex, don't be playing all night.
No, you know what happens when I do that? I end up in tears in the morning.
Mark's mods a monumental moment in the Routemaster build.
Right. Okay, bus is up on the shelf, as we can see. Now I've got a main switch on the wall, which turns the power board off, which will turn the bus off and everything else. I'll put Arduino up on the shelf.
So what do you do? Do you power the Arduino up first, then the bus?
I'm just gonna plug it in as I would. I've got a feeling the USB will kick in quicker than the bus anyway. So let me just set this up as it would be on the shelf. And then I've got a USB plug down here that powers like my models down here.
Mm.
I'll plug that in. Because this is how it would work. Obviously, this depends on the Nano as well, because I don't know how quick the Nano fires up. Because that would be what I'll be using, the Nano. Right, get the remote. Nope. Just turn some lights off. So I'm going to flick it on the wall. Right, it's instantly turned one of the lights on.
I love how you're standing right in front of it.
So, hang on, let me flick that back off. Yeah, I don't think that comes on quick enough. When I turn that off, on, it turns a different light on.
Yeah, I think that IC is not stable when it's not powered. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's closing the circuit, sometimes it's not.
Could you put a wash tape battery in to keep it powered when you haven't got a battery box pack in? Does that make sense?
Would that work? I've actually got one. I do have one.
What, to keep the Arduino powered?
Yeah. Mind you, would it kill the battery quite quick? Do you think? Just running that IC off of it. Oh, mind you, this is quite complex actually. There's like six pins on it.
Hi.
Yeah. It's like a little battery with 6 pins on.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, without the power delay, I would just make sure you turn the Arduino on first, and by the time you reach up to the bus to turn it on, I think that's enough time.
Yeah. Well, either way, it's not perfect yet, but I can stand here and turn my bus. Well, no, I can't. Yeah, I can turn the bus on and off from a remote control over here, which is something I couldn't do before. So it's gonna take some playing, but the principle's there. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll try and work out a solution. Yeah, I'll try and work out a solution for that at some point. Which is, as I say, need the buses to come on after the Arduino. But then I don't know the variables could change here because when I use this Nano, this could power up a lot quicker than that board up there will.
Mm.
So it still could change.
Mm.
So, yeah. Well, let me come back. So, awesome. Awesome stuff. So thank you again, Todd, for the help there.
Very welcome.
really, really good. Got my DeLorean on the bed. What can I say? That's it. So
Fabulous.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, fabulous.
And you're getting it all done before midnight.
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's been you know what my shows are like. Mine just not as long as a Spitfire last week, 4.5 hours.
No. Goodness me. No.
What time's it? What's the time across where you are, Todd?
The time?
Yeah,
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're
it's
just
tea
gonna
time. It's tea time for you. It's bedtime for us.
Yeah, 11 o'clock. Mad.
It's probably nicer there. It's about 42 Celsius here.
Oh, it's 17 degrees, I think it is here at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite warm.
But it's
Yeah.
actually raining.
I wish. I'm in Phoenix. It's hot.
Oh, goodness me.
I don't think it's rated up here in Newcastle. It's been a nice day today.
It is here in Yorkshire. So you've got Georgia, Dave, and Dano there in Newcastle. So I'm in East Yorkshire. Mark was in West Yorkshire, and then Horlicks there is in Eastbourne. They're Brighton. South
See,
of
now I have a
Brighton.
bunch of people I have to go visit the next time I'm head over to Europe.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm in the north. I'm in the furthest north. Then it's Dave. Then more.
I've been to London before. I've been to Watford Junction for the Warner Brothers tour, but that's as far north as I went.
Yeah.
We're further north than that.
Yeah.
I'd love to go up there. You know, I have to go to like Corby and see Wayne. You know,
Yeah.
so I'll have to make my way back over there.
Yeah, that's south. It's Leicestershire way, isn't it? Corby. Yeah, south Nottingham.
And then I got to find Chloe from Model Mods. Go see her. I need to get everybody together in a pub. That's what I need to do.
Well, yeah. I don't know where Chloe is.
I don't know where she is.
Is she in Liverpool somewhere? I don't know.
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't know where she is.
Yeah, it's obviously I'm down here. I'm down here in Eastbourne.
Yeah, south of London.
And then you lot are up here.
She's in, says Hounslow. That's where the Model Mods is. I'm assuming it's close.
Hounslow.
They're all around that area. So I actually went to visit them not long ago. And it's a bit of a trek, but the sat nav said it was going to take me like 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
But there was a massive issue on the motorway around London, the M25 and all that. It took me 11.5 hours to get up there.
Yeah.
It was mad. But yeah, I'm right down here. So.
Yep, and I'm all the way up there, Newcastle upon Tyne.
Yeah.
I'm the Scotland.
So is Hounslow Manchester way? I don't know where Chloe is. I'm guessing now.
Oh, there we go.
Hounslow? Wow.
Chloe's near Heathrow Airport.
Oh, near Heathrow, so she's near London then.
So not far from me then.
It's tough for people in the States to realize how small things are over there. You know, when you realize how big states are here, like Arizona is like 120% larger. The state I live in is 120% larger than all of the UK. So it'd be like me driving from, barely one end of the state to the other. That's all of the UK.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't realize it when you start driving, and hey, I'm in Germany. Oh, now I'm in France. Oh, now I'm in Luxembourg. Within seconds, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the States in 1981. I actually don't drive. I was over there with my dad, and we were staying because my mum's sister married an Air Force person, so they were staying at Little Rock Air Force Base.
Yep.
And we stayed on that Air Force Base, and my dad drove from there, which was Arkansas. My dad drove from there down to Disney World.
Orlando, yep.
Orlando. Hell of a
That'd be like driving across Europe for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to go to. I'm a bit of a theme park fanatic, and I'd love to go to all the theme parks over there, but it's just the money. I've got a load of theme park memorabilia on the top shelf. I collect all the mugs and stuff, and it's just like I'd love to do that. It's my dream. But it's
I would
just
like to go to Disneyland just to go to Star Wars Land and get a lightsaber.
yeah.
You can build your own.
Yeah. Your mate's going across with his girlfriend.
Well, and if you like Harry Potter, the Universal Studios in Florida is amazing.
That's the one I went to, Florida. Disneyland, Florida.
Yeah,
Disney. My dad was a coach driver, so it didn't bother him driving distance. Yeah, even though he wasn't.
Yeah, that's Disney World is something to see. It is because it's got 4 main parks in it, and versus Disneyland in California, the other side of the coast on the West Coast. Disneyland is the Magic Kingdom in Disney World, then plus 3 other parks, right? So it's huge.
They've got the Marvel Studio and all that there as well, haven't they?
Have they still got the Epcot set, or did that close?
Nope, Epcot's there. Yeah, Epcot, the Magic Kingdom, which is basically Disneyland inside Disney World.
Yeah. Then
you have the I don't even know what they call it, Hollywood Studios now, where Star Wars Land is.
Yep.
Thank God, because there was nothing else there. And then the Animal Kingdom. So you have four parks in one area inside Disney World.
Wow.
It was 1981 when I was across there. So, as I say, no Star Wars theme park there, but I remember the Epcot Centre.
Well, they just recently bought Star Wars off Lucas, so it's been a few
Disney's
years.
buying everything. They own the Avengers. They own Marvel. They own Disney. Disney owns ABC, and I mean they just keep snatching things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, just
corporate greed.
Doesn't stop people from going to the parks, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah. I've been to Memphis as well. That was nice. Visited Elvis Presley's house.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing that's not fun about Florida is the weather, right? It gets hot and swampy and humid. Like you go to England and it's humid, but it's cold, right?
Yeah.
You go to Florida and you get out of the shower and you step outside and you take another one.
Yeah.
It is. You never dry off. It's brutal if you go there during the summer months.
I would come back like a tomato.
Yeah, I went on the Everglades. That's pretty humid as hell.
Yeah.
Compared to what we have over here.
Yeah. Are you excited? Horlixs, are you excited?
Yeah. I'm pleased it's working. It's still a bit hit and miss on that button 2 for some reason. But as Dave says, like on the circuit board's not the greatest that's in the bus. And it's easily confused and it runs 2 circuits. So it has to switch on the interior lights and the exterior lights and the indicators. Are they on a separate one? They might even be 3.
And there could be 3 into 1 there, yeah. There could be 3 into 1.
You know what the next step is, Horlixs, right? Is rip out that PCB and do your own thing. Power all those lights yourself from the Arduino. You can run the sounds through like I did. I used a DF Player Mini, right? And I run all the sounds. It plays MP3s and it has speakers, and I did it all myself, right? There's no EagleMoss circuitry left. But that way, you can control the state of the lights. You have full control of it. You're not waiting on that. It's probably a terrible PCB made in China for 4 cents.
Yeah. It's
just how far do you want to go? That works. How far do you want to go?
This is the. It's terrible. I've already blown one up, but that's why I've got a spare. It's just this little thing, yeah. Okay, that's the one that comes with it.
Yeah, that pretty much looks like every Partworks board. There's a sound chip and a controller chip and a bunch of resistors.
And then that's it. So
when I was doing the custom lighting on the fire truck, it switches on the positive side, which is very strange, but it switches the lights on the positive side, and I'm doing all my switching on the negative side, and it was just a nightmare trying to integrate my wiring with the circuit board.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, I could do. The thing is, I mean, the problem with it is it's going to be a lot of work because I've done a lot of work to it already, just making the switches on the front work on the base, because obviously they shouldn't be there. Like, all the buttons are in the bus, so it would be a massive teardown job on the circuit board side.
Well, maybe, because you could actually have those switches on the base trigger Arduino inputs and do the same function inside the Arduino.
Yeah.
Instead of like shorting the circuits directly to the board, just have the Arduino talk to the board and have those switches act. You can use analog ins or digital inputs, and you could just have the Arduino read the states of those switches and say, hey, when those come on, trigger this. And you just like you do with the infrared, right? It's just extra code in each section. Yeah. And you say, when push that button, the Arduino sees that switch close, turns those lights on, right?
Right.
It's just an option. You have lots of ways to do it.
But is it going to work now?
He's going to be playing with that real sadness.
Yeah, it's working. It's behaving now a little bit, but it's almost like the Arduino sort of goes to sleep for a minute. I'm wondering if I've got a load of unnecessary code in here that, like, blocking stuff up as well, because this is sort of a code that I've harvested from a tutorial lesson, which is the remote. I have deleted some of it out. I think it's all out. I think I've got the basics. So I've got obviously the buttons, then the receiver pin. I think these are obviously part of it. Then you've got the codes, which I've deleted all the ones out that I didn't need. And then I've got all this at the bottom, but I'm guessing this is needed as well.
Yeah, I mean, in my case, everything that was up there in that translate IR function up top, I put in the loop, but it's the same thing. That translate IR is just calling the function above. So basically it says, you know, if IR were deceived. So what happens is when you push a button on the remote, it sends a signal to the IR receiver, which puts it in a buffer. And then the loop down below, your void loop, is basically saying, hey, if it's received a code, call the translate IR, which is this function here that says, okay, decode the results, you know, and then do your switch case functions. And then when that's done, it goes, if you scroll down just a little bit more, the IR receiver resumes, says, okay, now start looking for the next value to be received.
Right. So everything looks all right. There's nothing really I can remove.
No, that looks okay. I think the only thing you might want to play with is just the timing. You know, you have to play with the timings. I don't think you need delays after low on the individual button presses. I do think you need them on the power switch, because the time it takes for you to move your finger from one button to the other is the effective thing, same thing, right?
Yeah.
You've added a delay between button presses. So I think you mostly is just messing around with button 2 might take a little a massaging to figure out the timing to get that to work happy.
Maybe I'm wondering if the delay needs to be a bit more before trying to write.
And it could be that it's taking longer to respond. Just double it, set it to like 200 and give it another shot.
Yeah, I'll try that. I'll have a play with these, and I'll leave that back as it was. I'm not going to do any more tonight, but yeah, I'll have a play with these figures here and see if I can get that operating smoothly. But no, I'm really happy that it's even doing anything. To be honest, that's what I set out to do. Yeah, I'm turning see, like, it's frozen again. It's like the Arduino freezes and then it all jumps into life. It's really strange. But now it'll be fine. But if I leave it for a bit, it's almost like it.
I guarantee you the Arduino is way faster than the PCB and the bus is. Yeah. So it could be that just however that bus is done and how the PCB and the bus is done. You know, it looked like I saw optoreceptors on that board and all sorts of weird things. Who knows what they did? But, you know, getting it to, activate that PCB, it's just going to take timing.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a manual thing more than anything else, because you go around to one place in the bus and press one switch, and then you go to another place in the bus and press another switch. So it's like, you've got 3 or 4 seconds before you can actually do 2 or 3 things like that to the bus.
Yeah.
Which is probably all right for that board, but not quick enough for the infrared, is it? It's not quick enough for that.
No, and I did sometimes have issues with the front buttons, because when you come in, you flick it on. I used to go 1, 2, 3. Sometimes that was too quick for it.
Yeah.
So it might be a case that I just just play with the delays. That's all I can do, and then just keep trying. I'm going to try and get a longer cable, so I ain't got to keep plugging and unplugging things in.
Yeah.
And just go from there. But the basic function of it is, it's frozen up again. There you go. It's like you have to do something else before those interior lights, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah. But when you think about it, I think there's 2 circuits in there. I can't quite remember, but yeah, there's like it's like a double function really, with the exterior and the interior lights, and that's the most of the lights as well, isn't it? When you think about it, that's most of the power that it's taking up there, because the cab light's only 1 bulb.
Mm-hmm.
That's all off. If I hold the button down for longer, it seems to do it. So if I hold it down till it stops, no, that's gone out the window. I thought that was the case. But button 1 doesn't do. Yeah, it's just that board, isn't it? It's trying to talk to a board, and it's as you say, Arduino is a lot quicker than that board is, and it's just button 2. There you go. It's going to take a lot of playing. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on. I think I'm going to end the show because it's like 20:11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this party's just getting started. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Some people's going to get to work tomorrow. And I'm one of them.
Right, turn it on. Okay, no, I am happy with that. I'm happy with the results. It just needs a bit of fine tuning.
Yeah.
But the basic function seems to be working. I really like that idea of getting rid of the circuit board completely and just running the whole thing off Arduino, because, as you say, you can probably do so much more. I mean, it's a bit more advanced than my knowledge. I wouldn't be able to do it fully, but with a lot of research and help, probably. And probably put a soundboard in, stuff like that.
That would be
Yeah,
great.
I mean, you might even be able to actually power the pins of the IC with your positive, and then just feed each lighting circuit literally through the IC. Since it's a multi-switch, right?
Yeah.
And you could hook each circuit directly to your IC, and that's where you switch on and off. And the IC does the switching. You get rid of the power. You get rid of that PCB altogether. I bet you can put enough. Those lights aren't pulling that much. They're probably more than you can use an Arduino pin for, because typically you don't want to go above 20, maybe even 40 milliamps on an Arduino pin. But since it's only triggering the IC, I bet you could pass 10 volts through that IC, through the individual switches, and then just run those directly to the lighting circuits, and you're done. Get rid of the PCB altogether. You add a soundboard. You can add a bunch of sounds. You can have it peeling out, slamming on the brakes, and tossing people around and dinging, and the driver screaming at traffic. I mean, you could add all sorts of sounds. The DF player I have can support up to a 32 gig sound card, and it plays MP3s, which is like 3 hours or who knows how much. I mean, that's just a ton of time.
You better make a party bus.
But
what you need to do is go get on one of those double deckers in London and ride it around with a microphone in your pocket and listen to all the ambient sounds of it driving around, and then you can just have an ambient sound. It just plays all the time, making sound stops and announcements, and you can just have it on low volume and just have it sitting there making noise. That's what I did that in the bridge ambient sound of the Enterprise, just so you could have it run on a loop, and it'll just play that for hours and just sit there on your table.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing what you can do with these, isn't it?
Yep.
So the only thing about that is that there's no Routemasters around London anymore that do that. So only privately owned ones.
Oh,
So, yeah, they've outlawed them. So it's one of
they
our
still have the double deckers though. Could you kind of cheat and get some, record some audio or find somebody? I'm sure somebody on YouTube has rode a bus all around the city.
Yeah.
And just have it so it's background audio.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, we have lots of enthusiasts over here that own their own Routemasters, and they often take them to vintage fates and what have you. And, you get the people coming along with the, twin deck recorders and all the rest of it, recording sounds of it going round and going up a hill and what have you. And,
yeah, just get yourself a go to these bush rallies. Get yourself a ride on a Routemaster with a tape with a recording.
There you go. See, the possibilities just keep piling up.
Yeah.
Dano was on one the other day, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Open top one at Metro Centre.
Yeah. Yeah, an open top one, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there taking pictures?
Right. Awesome. Okay. Well, let's just go for this last little bit of chat. I think there is some.
Okay, it's Chloe is near Heathrow Airport. Alan Key Model Moors or Hounslow just outside of London.
Hounslow, yeah.
And Mark says, "Don't get me started with Disney and Star Wars. I'll be here all night."
I like how Mark is not here, but he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes off at 10 o'clock, but I think it's because one of the lads goes to bed, so he has to go downstairs and go on his account.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let me go around everyone then, and I'm going to say goodnight. So, Dave, DS Models of Vintage.
Okay, well, thank you ever so much for joining us tonight, and this has been absolutely epic, this show. Absolutely epic, and what's made it extra special is that we've got Marvel Fix in here. Todd, thank you ever so much once again for all your help. It's been absolutely invaluable, and no doubt you'll be made friends of all of us as well before much longer. So thank you ever so much for joining us from the good old US of A as well. So thank you, and good night to everybody watching, and I'll see you on another stream sometime in the near future.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Jordy, Dave?
Basically, it's just what Dave said. Thanks for coming on, Todd, and helping, and we'll see you. So I'll just say a good night, everybody, and catch you on another stream.
Awesome. Thank you. And Dano, hope you haven't been too bored.
No, really enjoyed the stream tonight. It was really interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been all electronics tonight, isn't it? On the
from my stream to this stream.
From this stream to this stream.
Yeah.
When that bus lit up, look at the bottom. You can see me dad and Jim just with a big grin on the face.
Yeah, we want our buses like that.
Here we go.
Well, we'll see if I can get this finalised and working as it should. I might be able to make something. I've got one more question. Thank you, Dano. I've just got one more question for Todd. Like, at the moment, it's just obviously a mock-up with Arduino pins and wires and jumpers. Do you think it would act a bit differently, properly soldered to a board?
Probably not.
No.
I don't think it. I think it would if you were doing a lot more complex timing and things like that. But I think what you have is fairly simple. And I mean, soldering is always better, But for what you're doing, like you're not sending serial communication, you're not doing, music. I'm sure it's probably fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right, and Todd, thank you very much for coming on and helping out. Really, I'll probably have given up by now otherwise. But yeah, thank you for coming on.
Very welcome. This is cool. I've never done this before.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing. So that is it then from us all. 2.5 hours. It's still not as long as it feels like we've been as long as the Spitfire show that time for 4.5.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but you think that you cover my stream straight into this stream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have in effect been a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
Been on here all night, yeah.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As always, take care, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe if you like the video. And I'm going to get off and collapse probably. So, thank you everyone for watching. And I need to find the outro. Thank you for watching. See you on the next show. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?